No artificial flavors, no artificial colors, 4.6 ounces. This is beef stroganoff with noodles, 27 grams of protein, 600 calories. You cannot beat this.
I'm up for the challenge.
You're up for the challenge? Today on Backpacking TV, Chef Corso is going to be taking on the classic, tried and true backpacker dehydrated meal with his own twist and his own flair. We're gonna be pairing them head to head. Stay tuned, make sure you stick around to find out the results. Before we get into the video, please make sure you're subscribed here to the channel and be willing to give us that thumbs up. And yeah, Chef Corso of Monte Boca, I'm gonna turn it over to you for this challenge.
We are gonna try to match this flavor profile of beef stroganoff and actually give us something that's satisfying, that we're excited for, and gives us some really good texture and flavor rather than this dry, salty, matted, expensive option.
It is expensive, and I think that's one of the main things is people don't really know how to meal plan in a way that's simple enough, so then we end up dropping $200 on a backpacking trip in just mostly dehydrated meals. So I am really excited to learn about what might else be out there for us. You've already blown my mind with so many of the meals, so I'm excited for one more challenge ahead of you here.
For sure. So we've got double barrel camp stove action here today. And we're gonna be able to boil up some water, hydrate this beef stroganoff, but then also work on a Monte Boca recipe as well to see how they turn out. So if you wanna go ahead and pull that package here for the Monte Boca option.
Okay.
So we've got two options here, both are in a package. So what I did with this guy is I put it all in one plastic container, and this is just happens to be a reusable Ziploc bag, which can be helpful to minimizing our overall footprint. But we've got egg noodles, actual mushrooms, both button and shiitakes. We've got a package of beef jerky, which I'm wondering if it'll hydrate, but I'm pretty positive it will. We've also got Dijon mustard packet. What? We're gonna throw that in there? What does that fit in?
I'm down.
We've got a beef bouillon cube.
Beautiful.
We've got a little bit of black pepper.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Also what we've got in here is a little bit of milk powder and some garlic powder. So basically we've created this sort of recipe all in this bag to match as closely to that as possible and hopefully elevate it.
Awesome, and you are all about elevating your meals. Before we get into it, can you tell us just a quick bit about Monte Boca and who you are?
So Monte Boca is a company and community that I founded to help us do this, eat better outside. I'm a backpacker too, and when I went out on my treks, I noticed that the food was usually like this, or a whole lot of bars, a whole lot of granola, and I thought that there could be a better way. I'm also a classically trained chef, so I thought that I could maybe put together some recipes that could really satisfy and elevate our experience.
Well, I think that's the key, is actually enjoying your experience. And food doesn't have to be just, when it comes to backpacking, just something that allows you to make progress on the trail. We can actually enjoy it. And if my previous experience with Chef Steve are anything to compare to, his meals are amazing. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
Awesome. So flavor is important, but ultimately they have to be fast and they have to be easy because usually you're hungry, it's been a long day, you might need to conserve some gas. So I think we should get cooking.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and dump all of the Monte Boca items in here. And if you wanna go ahead and open up that beef bouillon cube too for me.
Oh, yep, got it.
And throw that in there. And we're just gonna cover that with some water. And we're gonna go ahead and get that burner going.
Okay.
Turn that on. I'll give you a little bit of fire. There we go.
Cool.
And just go ahead and throw our lid on that. So overall, pretty easy. And in our other stove over here, we're gonna hydrate our packaged meal. And it says we need 1 3/4 cups of water. And I'm sure a lot of you out there have had this experience where all you're really using these stoves for is for boiling water. But it's gonna be really fun to see both of these stoves, both of these burners, and what they give us. So both of these recipes aren't super complicated. We just need to start boiling. So we're boiling water and we're gonna add it to our package. And then for our Monty Boca pot over here, we're just looking for it to come to a boil, give it a couple stirs throughout the cooking process, but it might take 5, 10, maybe 12 minutes depending on your elevation, but we're just looking to cook all those noodles all the way through.
So is this one actually faster than these dehydrated meals? Because sometimes those take 15, 20 minutes to dehydrate, or to rehydrate.
Yeah, and I think oftentimes it's right around the same. So 10, 15 minutes depending on the package, and again, depending on your elevation. If you're higher up, it's gonna take a little bit longer for that water to boil, but overall not too long. But it's almost a push as far as time and weight for packability.
And while we are discussing the cost associated with these, because they can be pretty pricey, especially if you're just buying one meal, no big deal. But if you have to plan for a full week trip or a group's week-long trip, that's a lot of money. So how much does this cost?
So this package that we're cooking today, I mean, this is actually about a half pound of egg noodles, so that's maybe 50 cents. The most expensive thing in this is probably the beef jerky, so maybe $3 to $4 for the beef jerky packet. So I would say for this Monty Boca recipe, it's around $6 to $8, but that gives us 3-4 real servings. The challenge that I have with these packaged meals is they don't even really fill me up very often.
Usually not. This is probably, if it's 2 servings, maybe it'll fill one person.
Right.
But if it's 1 serving, no chance.
Yeah.
I am definitely going to be hungry after that.
Right. Or you're going to need a chocolate bar or something at the end of the day to really finish off your time.
Totally. And like you said, so this is what you buy from the store, but from like your camping store, but this is all just stuff that you at home can just buy from your grocery store, is that right?
Absolutely. A lot of the recipes that we have, and actually most of the recipes that we have, are meant to be easy shopping and easy packing, because I want you to get outside and enjoy where you're going. I don't want you to have to spend all day dehydrating. If we do have a special ingredient, so maybe like a coconut milk powder or peanut butter powder, we note it on each recipe so you know that prior to your trip.
So you're not selling people the food ingredients, you are just trying to give people access to information that can really expand people's horizons when it comes to these meals here, right?
Yeah, you know, I've loved food and I love cooking for a lot of my life, and I really love the sharing process of that as well. But what I would love for all of you guys is to cook outside together. I could definitely make a packaged meal or some sort of meal kit, but I'm more interested that you guys know how to do it and then you can do it again.
Yeah. And I think that for a lot of people out there, food can be an intimidating part of the process. Actually, some of our videos that it generates the most engagement here on this channel actually have to do with food. So I know that you are probably, if you're watching this, you're trying to unlock that to just, you know, you want to have a good experience. And I definitely love being able to buy just my ingredients from the grocery store. So while we're waiting for this, what else should people know about Monty Boca and what else you might have in your recipe book?
Yeah, so quickly, this water is ready, so I think we need to hydrate our guy.
Let's get that going, because we got to wait a bit, so I don't want to distract you too much.
No worries. But I think the thing about Monty Boca is that recipes are fast and easy, 10 ingredients or less. Yeah, don't eat that. It's always
the silica packet.
It's always a really important call out. Don't eat that packet. So just like a standard backpacker meal, I'm going to hydrate this guy up and give it a little bit of a stir.
How's it smelling?
Smells like a packaged meal to me.
It does.
But the noodles are pretty small. We've got some sort of beef bits in here. There is sort of beef bits, a couple different dried mushrooms. You know, it looks generally like food.
Ish.
In
the realm of food.
Generally-ish.
Anybody who's eaten these before knows that it's really a challenge to come by a packaged meal that you actually get excited about. Because usually it's just like, I guess I got to eat this.
Yeah. But so we're going to check on that in a few minutes. Let's see how our Monty Boca option is coming along. Oops. We're just waiting for our water to boil here. Stirring this around.
So this beef jerky, will it feel like beef jerky when we're eating it, or is it going to have a more tender kind of texture to it?
Yeah, it's a really surprising ingredient. When I first started testing this, I was really skeptical that it would actually hydrate. But as you're cooking along and as you're making soups, or different recipes, it hydrates really nicely and also is really able to flavor our broth as well. But for other Monte Bocca recipes, this is part of a recipe series. This is the classic elevated series. So what I've been super curious about is, can we match the classic backpacker packaged options on the shelf like jambalaya, stroganoff, apple crisp, chicken and rice, other Mexican bowls, curries. Yeah, those are great. Thai curries or Indian curries. We've got a whole series that specifically match these with real ingredients for an elevated bowl. Packaged meals will only go so far, but there has been a lot of other companies that have come out over the last few years that are maybe better sourced. So there's grass-fed beef in there. There's better spices, maybe a few more vegetables.
Yeah.
And so the flavor profiles are a little bit more palatable, but the thing that packaged meals miss is texture.
Yeah.
And texture is such an important part of eating, whether it's crunch or whether it's a little bit of sprinkle on top. And you can only get so much with just rehydrating food.
Absolutely. Yeah, usually you notice that texture. It's just kind of like gruel almost. It's just all mushy.
Yep, and it makes complete sense for what it is. It's been processed or it's been dehydrated or freeze dried, and we're looking to add moisture back to it, but you can't mimic the crunchiness of a red pepper or a snap pea or the real texture of a piece of beef or a mushroom.
Yeah. Well, how are we looking here?
Looking pretty good. We're just getting up to a simmer.
That looks already like a completely different meal experience than what's been happening in the bag.
Well, and also something for most of the Monte Bocca recipes is that they are meant to give you 2 to 4 very solid portions for one pot. And I think a lot of times people are meal planning for just themselves, so they are just buying packaged meals for their two-night trip. But it's really a lot more fun to be able to meal plan together, share the load as far as ingredients, as far as equipment, but you can get some very healthy, satisfying portions rather than, as we were talking about before, kind of concerned about how much this is and how much this is actually going to fill me up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that for those of you out there know that usually the food is the thing that gets left behind. It's the thing that, it's like, it just becomes really difficult. But as I'm learning, there are some really simple tricks here to doing really amazing meals. And I hope that you get a chance to watch the other videos in our series featuring Chef Corso here, because literally it's been an illuminating experience with having this. We've got a bird here who's excited about the beef stroganoff too.
Yeah, he is.
But there are so many amazing and simple things that are out there that you can easily buy yourself from the grocery store. But if you just have a little bit of know-how, that Chef Corso provides.
Well, and I think the thing too about trip planning is pretty complicated. Like, you need to worry about your permits, who's going, how many miles you're going a day, is there water available, what are you packing this time, how many layers of clothes, where's my puffy, I can't even remember where my hiking shoes are, I haven't been hiking in months. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that usually comes up is food. And at that point, I get it, is you're already sort of fatigued on the whole process. You just want to get outside, so you just take the stuff you already know or the easy stuff. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to make the meal planning and the mealtime fun, tasty, and easy.
Well, you certainly deliver. I've been impressed. And what's happening with our meal?
So as we're bubbling along, and I think it's about time that we're checking our noodles. They're hydrating nicely. You want to grab your spoon and check the noodles with me?
That looks good.
So all we're really looking for is those noodles to get nice and soft.
They're almost there.
Almost there. So yeah, a little crunchy still.
Yeah. Oh, that beef jerky. That looks good.
So why don't you go ahead and try that? Maybe a little piece just to see how it's hydrating. I'll give you that guy. It's the other thing about cooking that's really important is testing it along the way. So you get to kind of explore how different ingredients react. It's a chance to be able to add a little bit more salt or a little bit more acid, maybe a little bit of black pepper, something in there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks, when they're cooking inside or outside, just sort of make the recipe, don't taste it, and be like, well, I hope you like it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, you're the chef tonight, and you have the opportunity to make it amazing.
Yeah. What were the ingredients that actually went in here? I kind of was missing that. So can you?
Well, you're probably focused on the packaged meal, I know.
I think I was. Yeah.
So mainly we've got beef jerky, egg noodles, dehydrated or fresh mushrooms. They can last multiple days. We've got milk powder, bouillon cube, and then what the last ingredient we have here is, a little bit of garlic powder too. And last ingredient we have here, which is our Dijon mustard. And you're wondering why I'm holding on to this and waggling it around.
Yeah.
But we're gonna put it in right at the end. And what this is gonna do is give us a little bit of extra flavor and a little bit of extra acidity to really bring this all together.
Unlock all those flavors.
Absolutely. So this pot is almost done. And if it turns out that you add a little bit too much water, no big deal. You can just take the lid off and let that evaporate. And also these noodles are just gonna continue to hydrate over the next 5, 10, 20 minutes. So they'll be able to thicken up even more than where we are now. But you're just looking for those noodles to get nice and soft to your preference. And then we're gonna go ahead and throw in our Dijon mustard, which this is just an easy packet that was left over from my HelloFresh box. These packets, I call these weasel ingredients. And so, you're not necessarily stealing them, but you're finding a creative way to procure them, whether that's at a coffee shop or a diner or your own drawer at home. So once you go ahead and give it a try, I think we're almost done.
Okay, got some mushrooms in here too.
Nice, I'm gonna give it a try too. And try that broth, see how it is.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
And that Dijon, that really adds a nice flavor profile in there.
A little bit at the end gives you a nice little finishing touch. Thinking about if you have a piece of fish and chips and you squeeze some lemon on it or some malt vinegar on it, that's that freshness hitting that meal and really completing that flavor profile. It's the same thing that's happening when we're adding the Dijon.
You think like a chef.
I think like a chef. I am a chef.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah. But again, I love food and I love all of this, but I love sitting on rocks and cooking on stumps. It's just really, really fun.
No, this is the way to do it. And this is already, we haven't fully dove into it, but just from my simple taste, I can tell this meal is on another planet compared to our bagged meal.
Awesome. So I think we're done. So let's go ahead and turn the heat off. And let's do a proper tasting here. Which one? Well, I think we should try the packaged meal first.
Yeah.
The bowl.
Oh my goodness. So this is your standard dehydrated meal. This is often what most people are eating in the backcountry, and it just looks like a bowl of mush. Yeah. Essentially.
Pretty much. So let's go ahead and bowl up the Monte Boca Classics Elevated option.
This one looks like real food that I'm about to eat. It doesn't even look like the same meal. That looks 1,000 times better.
So it's now time that we do a proper tasting. I love doing tastings for a lot of different ingredients, and sometimes they're not great and sometimes they're fantastic. So here we go. Let's try the packaged meal first.
Okay, right. I feel like this isn't fair, because normally when you're eating a packaged meal, you have no idea what to compare it to.
So I'll try it too. And tell me what you're tasting. We're doing a proper tasting here.
I taste sodium.
Okay.
Oh, it's very salty.
Ooh, it is pretty salty.
I taste a hint of mushroom. Mm-hmm. There is some mushroom flavor in there. I don't think there's any sausage, but it does taste like a little bit of meaty, kind of general beefy sausage or something.
General meaty bits, I would say.
Yeah.
They're very small. There is some beefiness in there. I noticed some creaminess too from whatever they put in here as far as milk powder, those type of things.
Yeah.
But it is pretty matted. And what I taste, especially as it sits on my tongue, it just sort of lingers and doesn't make me very happy.
No, it's not exciting, that's for sure. It doesn't taste like something I would want to write home to my mother about.
For sure. And the crazy thing about this too, so this is just about all that's in the package. And this, I think it says, this is two servings, but this is all that's here. And on a big day, like I need to crush about 3 times this amount.
Yeah.
So, but this is, $10-12 for just one bowl.
And that's not a very exciting looking bowl. That's about 600 calories. About how much calories do you think might be included in here?
We might have a little bit less just because we're not adding as many ingredients, but it's probably around 400 to 500, so it's pretty similar. But for the overall quantity of food and overall portion, you could easily have 2 bowls here and even get more calories.
Just on a satisfaction level, this feels like it's on a different planet. That's delicious. I can taste the mushrooms.
This sits, it's going to hydrate a little bit more and get even creamier.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and get a kind of the perfect bite with a little bit of mushroom, a little bit of beef, a little bit of noodle.
Yeah. Look at that. That's a real mushroom.
Wow. I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but this is really tasty.
Well, there you have it. We have our 2 beef stroganoffs. I know which one I will be eating in the future, and it's gonna be from this guy here. So, Chef Corso, where else can people find more about your beef stroganoff or any of your other meals that you have?
Yeah, check out montyboca.com. We have a recipe bank with over 175 trail tested recipes. Also check out my YouTube channel, Chef Corso, where I go outside and cook meals in amazing locations and show you how to do it. But also Instagram at montyboca and Facebook, Elevate Your Meals.
We'll have those links below the video here, so make sure you check those out. And we have been up to a whole series of backpacking meal videos. Make sure you check out the rest of our video series with Chef Corso. Check him out at montyboca.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Eric. This is Chef Corso. We'll see you on the trail.